The house stood silent, a relic of time buried under layers of dust and cobwebs. For 35 years, it had been left untouched, forgotten by those who once called it home. As I stood outside, the air heavy with an eerie stillness, I couldn't shake the feeling that this place held secrets that had been waiting all these years to be uncovered. We had heard stories, whispered tales of strange occurrences within these walls. People spoke of shadows that moved on their own, of whispers that seemed to come from the very house itself. But these were just stories, weren't they? My team and I were about to find out. It took us 3 weeks to get to this point. Every time we tried to come this home, something would go wrong, unexpected delays, even our vehicles breaking down for no apparent reason. It was as if the house didn't want to be disturbed. But we pushed through, determined to uncover whatever lay hidden within. As we stepped inside, the house felt different. It was as if the very air inside was thicker, heavier. The walls, once filled with laughter and life, now stood as silent witnesses to the passage of time. Each room we entered seemed to carry its own weight, its own story, waiting to be told. At first glance, there was nothing unusual, just an old, abandoned house. But as we delved deeper, that feeling of normalcy began to slip away. The further we went, the more we started to notice a chill in the air that had nothing to do with the weather outside. The way the light seemed to dim as we walked further into the house. And then there were the sounds, soft, almost imperceptible, but there. Footsteps. Maybe. Or just the house settling after all these years. I found myself drawn to a particular room, one that seemed untouched by time. The door was slightly ajar, as if inviting us in. As I pushed it open, I was hit by a wave of cold air, so cold it made me shiver. Inside, the room was dark, the only light coming from the window partially covered by a tattered curtain. Dust motes danced in the pale beam of sunlight that managed to pierce through. The air was thick, musty, and I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. I asked my friend to leave the room, to give me a moment alone. I wanted to see if there was anything, any feeling, any presence, that would reveal itself. As they left, the silence became deafening. I sat down in the center of the room, closed my eyes, and just listened. At first, there was nothing, just the sound of my own breathing, the distant creaks of the house. But then, slowly, I began to feel it. A presence. It wasn't malevolent, but it was there, watching, waiting. I couldn't see it, couldn't touch it, but I knew it was there. And then, just as suddenly as it appeared, it was gone. I opened my eyes, and everything seemed the same. But I knew better. Something had been there, something that had been waiting for a long time. I stood up, feeling a strange mix of fear and curiosity. What had we uncovered? And why had it shown itself to me? As I rejoined my team, I noticed something strange. The camera, which had been pointed at me the entire time, had recorded something unusual. As we wrapped up our shoot, I couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. What had we disturbed in that house? And why had it shown itself now, after all these years? We packed up our equipment and left, but that feeling stayed with me. Later, as we reviewed the footage in the office, that sense of unease grew stronger. The shadow was clearer now, unmistakable. It wasn't just a trick of the light, it was something real. Something that had been waiting for us. This episode is different. There's something here that goes beyond just an abandoned house. There's a story, a presence that we can't ignore. Did we uncover something extraordinary, or were we just imagining things? As we left the house that day, I couldn't shake the feeling that it wasn't over. That whatever was there wasn't finished with us yet. This isn't the end of the story, it's just the beginning.